And just like that, we're done with Pro Day, baby. What's going on, people? Welcome back to Reefer. And I got another banger video for you guys today. Let's be special, baby. Let's be special. So Clemson Pro Day happened. All the scouts, some coaches like Mike Tomlin, Steelers GM Kevin Colbert was there. A bunch of activity on campus. An exciting time for the players. An exciting time for the graduating seniors, the fifth-year seniors, the guys that are kind of moving on to the next phase, whether it be NFL or life after football, to get a shot to showcase really what they're made out of. One guy I was surprised that didn't participate is Matt Bacher. So I was just kind of surprised by that. I mean, he said that he's kind of moved on to the next phase of his life. He's getting into the finance industry, so good for him. I wish him all the best going forward. I appreciate what he did for the program. But right off the bat, the biggest news by far out of Clemson Pro Day was that Andrew Booth Jr., projected first-round pick, will need surgery to fix a core muscle injury. In addition to needing surgery for a core muscle injury, he's also still recovering from a grade 2 quad injury at the combine. Now, Andrew had he had a pretty healthy career at Clemson. He stayed relatively injury-free, upright on the field a lot. So these injury surprises kind of they surprised me a little bit. I wasn't expecting this from him, especially just training for the combine. He seems to be having these issues. So maybe he's pushing his body too hard. Something's changed. He needs to figure out what he's changed from his days at Clemson, whether maybe it's a different diet, the training isn't the same. He needs to go back to the Clemson way of training. I don't know. He needs to figure something out, though. Something's changed because he's getting banged up very fast and it's not on the field right now. So he needs to change that for the pros. But unfortunately, too, this injury and the surgery they need could prevent him from being that first cornerback taken off the board in the first round. I don't know. It may not. It may. But overall, I think he was really banking on his athletic ability to shine at the combine, at the pro day. Because honestly, you look at the game film. Does he have some great interceptions, some great plays? Yeah, he's got some great plays, but he kind of runs into the same issue that Patrick Surtain II last year at Alabama ran into, where he was just such an elite cornerback on the team. Other teams didn't really throw the ball his way. They just kind of looked to the other way. They were trying to pick on Mario Goodrich, and Mario did pretty well this season. Pretty high. I think it was like an 80 passing grade by Pro Football Focus. So, Mario did pretty well too. But there's just not a bunch of game film on Andrew making plays in the passing game. Sure, and he's got, like I said, he's got the great interceptions. He's got some great run support plays. But there are just some times where teams were just like, no, we're just going to throw the ball the other way. We're just going to ignore him. I still see him as a first-round pick, though. I don't think he falls out of the first round from this. I don't think he jeopardizes Clemson's current streak of first-rounders, of having players go in the first round. So I don't really see it being that big of an issue. We'll find out, as I'm sure teams are going to, after the surgery, I think he's having it this week, teams are going to invite him in there, and they're going to do their own docs. They're going to examine him, examine the quad, examine the core muscle, and they're going to get a feel for what's going on themselves. But I think he's still a first-round draft pick. I would take him in the first round. And then my guy, Justyn Ross. Oh, Justyn, my baby, Justyn. Unfortunately, he didn't have the excellent high-level combine that we were hoping for him to have. I was really hoping he was going to go out there, he was going to run a 4.4, absolutely fly down that field and just show everybody up. And unfortunately, that wasn't really the case. So he put up a 40 time of 4.63, which it's all right, AJ Brown's right around there, T. Higgins was right around there. So it's not the end of the world for him, but we were really hoping for an excellent, 4.4 would have been a dream scenario, showing that he's a absolute stud that can just fly down the field. So that's kind of what we were hoping for, but we can work with a 4.63. We can work with that. Now, he also acknowledged there that he wasn't quite 100%. He'd been dealing with injuries throughout the season, so that was kind of partially why he didn't perform as well as he did his freshman sophomore year. I think it had a lot to do with the passing game too. As we all know, if you're Clemson fans know that the passing game was not up to the Clemson standard, not up to the Dabo Swinney standard as of recently, the past couple of years. It just wasn't the same. It was better under Trevor, better under Sean. I'd say even Kelly Bryant was better under with Kelly Bryant. This passing game was just awful this past year, and they got to fix some stuff. But the nice thing too is he put up very similar numbers to T. Higgins. I'll put those up right now. So the numbers between Justyn Ross and the numbers that T. Higgins put up were very similar, which is, it's really good for Ross. He can point to that and be like, hey, T. Higgins put up similar numbers to me. He's got success in the NFL. I can do that. And also, he's got a nice pedigree from Clemson too in terms of wide receiver production. I mean, you got guys like T. Higgins, Hunter Renfrow, DeAndre Hopkins, Sammy Watkins. I know Sammy Watkins, has been a little up and down in his career, but he's been in the NFL for a while now. That's a success. If you stay in the league, that's a success to me. So he's stayed in the league. He was a high draft pick. He got a lot of money in his first deal, and he's stayed around in the NFL. And then you can look at that like Martavis Bryant. Martavis Bryant, when he could just stay off the weed, he was good. He was a very productive player, but obviously just some off the field stuff kind of, put his career in a direction that I'm sure he probably doesn't wish it went. But now, unfortunately, too, this whole deal with Justyn probably puts him out of the second round conversation. Definitely not day one. Probably not second round. I'd see him going late. It pains me to say it. It pains me to say it, believe me. But I see him going late second round at the earliest. There's a shot that Trevor Lawrence could call up Jacksonville and be like, hey, you got to get my buddy Justyn. We need him. I need some wide receiver help. There's a chance that happens. There's a chance. But I see him as being more, mid to late second round at the earliest. Probably third round. I don't think he gets past third round. A positive note, too, is, though, that the Steelers and the Raiders were at the pro day, and they were showing a lot of interest in him. The biggest winner of the day, though, was my guy, Nolan Turner, with his 4.44 40-yard dash and some absolutely electric athletic testing, too. He absolutely showed that, hey, I can earn a spot on the special teams unit for your team, and I can go down that field and make a play, whether it's kickoff, punt return, punt coverage unit. He can do whatever you need. And then also that speed shows he's got the flexibility too. Maybe somebody in front of him goes down, injuries happen in the NFL, it's football. He can step right in, and he's got the speed to hang with anybody in the league. So there was a chance, he didn't get invited to the combine. There was a chance that he possibly didn't get drafted, but I think he really secured himself. He's going to be a day 3 selection, I think. I think that this pro day performance will put him on the maps of teams, being like, hey, he's got the athletic ability where he can hang with us. Let's take a shot on him. Let's draft him on day 3, and let's see what he does in camp for us in special teams. But I'm happy for Nolan. Can't wait to see what he does in the league. James Skalski looked pretty good too. Nothing too flashy, but nothing like, oh, this is terrible. He looked pretty good. So it pains me to say it. I wish him the best. I wish all these guys the best going forward. It's just my audience opinions of them right now. I don't see him getting drafted, honestly, but I see him getting being one of those preferred signees right after the draft the team signs. So he'll still get a signing bonus and some money, and then an invite to training camp. So I think he'll get that opportunity for sure. I just don't know if he'll really be a draft pick, but we'll find out. There's a bunch of guys in the league that are undrafted. I mean, I'd beckon to say, there's easily more undrafted players in the league than first rounders probably. I could be completely wrong on that, but that's just my opinion on it because, time after time you see these undrafted guys that are just, balling out in the league, and there's like, where did these guys come from? One thing that was cool too, though, with the pro day was that Will Spires doing some passes, some quarterback drills, just to kind of show off his arm. He's got a history of he played quarterback in high school, baseball background, big, tall kid. And, he took some snaps at quarterback at Clemson. Not a lot. I remember in Georgia Tech we kind of put him in. But not a lot, but he's just trying to diversify himself to NFL teams. Say, hey, I can do that too. I can, fake punt. I can throw that thing. I can spin that sucker. We'll see how he does. I never really saw him as an elite level NFL punter, just because I think he's kicking a little bit rugby style, and that just the rugby style just doesn't quite work in the NFL. You need a more traditional, just catch the ball, 2 steps, kick it straight up. And I just don't know if he just got the hang time. Hang time is a huge thing in the NFL for punters, and I just don't know if he got the hang time that you need to be, one of the 32 punters in the league. We'll see, though. I could be wrong, but like I said, I wish all these guys the best. It was also really cool to see Clemson honor Steelers longtime GM Kevin Colbert with the kind of a commemorative jersey. Dabo gave him a little speech just because Kevin's been such a big part of the Steelers organization. He's been to so many Clemson pro days. I mean, 22 years with the team. And it's a long time to be with the team, especially in the NFL with such a high turnover rate in that league. It's a really impressive time to be with one organization. But this will be his last year at GM. After the Steelers draft, he's gonna hand the reins over to whichever candidate the Steelers end up going with. We'll see. The Steelers haven't quite decided yet, but it's nice to see that he's got a lot of interest in Steelers players, though. Him and Mike Tomlin were both there. They were talking to Justyn Ross. They were talking to Andrew Booth. So hopefully, maybe they'll get one of those guys. That'd be great. I'd love to see Justyn Ross catching passes from Mitch Trubisky, or Andrew Booth locking it down on the outside with the likes of TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Devin Bush, Miles Jack, Mika Fitzpatrick on the backside. Some absolute ballers on defense. I'd be excited to see Andrew Booth on the defense. But we'll see what happens. I wish all the pro day participants the best in the future, whether it be in football, outside of football, whatever they do. Wish them the best. But that's all I got for today, guys. As always, have a great day. Tell somebody you love them. Deuces.